Hi, Dr. Davis. My name is Denise Graham. And first off, I would really like to thank you for your Super Gut yogurt. I have two friends that I've been making this yogurt for a little while now, and they both had really remarkable results. One has SIBO and one has ulcers. So I used the two different strains, and again, they've had really good results. Now, I do have to tell you that I make three different kinds of yogurt. I make your standard yogurt, the two specialty yogurts that you've recommended, and then I have a signature yogurt, which I've perfected, but it's my chocolate yogurt, and that one's just for fun. Anyway, I wanted to talk to you today about the two modifications I've made to your recipe. The first modification is in the inulin use. I wasn't real pleased with having to do that every time I made a batch, so I just prepare a large batch for all 4 1-quart bowls at a time, because I think the inulin is a lot like the plague of gnats in the Bible. That stuff gets everywhere and is in everything. So if I only have to deal with it once a week, I'm very pleased. So in a wide mouth 1-pint jar, I put 1/3 of a cup of inulin. Then I add to it 1 1/3 cup of the ultra pasteurized half and half. And then I use my immersion blender and I mix it thoroughly. I don't add any cultures at that time. Now, because I make these batches concurrently, I can put that in the refrigerator, and then the next day is just an assembly process. So that's the first modification. The second modification I made was I noticed that when I put the cold milk in the yogurt maker, it took 5 to 6 hours to heat that up to the correct temperature. And I thought, well, I would like to hasten that process so that I get the full 36 hours of fermentation. So what I do is I take a 9 by 13 glass baking dish. I put the two bowls, the two 1-quart bowls inside of it, and they're obviously room temperature. And I add at the bottom the capsule of whatever culture I'm going to be using. And I add 1/3 of the cup of the inulin, and then I fill the bowl up with the rest of the ultra pasteurized half and half. Then I gently stir it with a plastic spoon until I don't feel any crystals at the bottom. Then I take a measuring cup and I pour in 1.5 cups of very hot tap water into the casserole dish. Then I take that whole thing and I put it in the oven, and I set the temperature to 310 degrees. Now in my oven, it takes about 10 minutes to reach that temperature. And then once it reaches the temperature, I set my timer for 3 minutes, because again, I don't want to make the milk so hot that I kill the cultures, but I want to get it to past the point of being chilled so that I don't have to wait so long in the yogurt maker. So after 3 minutes, when the timer goes off, I shut off the oven, I open up the door to dissipate the heat, and then I leave it in there for about a minute, and then I take it out. Now obviously you're going to have to use oven mitts to get the pan out, because the pan is very hot, but the bowls themselves are not. They're just pleasantly warm, because again, I don't want to kill the cultures. I just want to hasten the heating of the milk process. Then I take the plastic lids, I put them on, and then I transfer that to my yogurt maker, which I've already put 3 cups of very hot tap water in there. So I put the bowls in, and then I set my temperature to 105 degrees, and I set the time for 36 hours. And again, since I do this concurrently, then just before that's ready to end its time, I've already got the next batch prepared. So when the timer goes off, that the 36 hours is concluded, I take those out, put them in the refrigerator, I empty that water out, wash up the tray so that the next batch is again with fresh water, and it all starts again. And I feel that by doing this consistently with the same volume of inulin, the same new capsule every time, because I don't want to reuse the older stuff, because I want to make sure I get the same thing every time. And I feel by doing this that it's allowed me a consistent batch, and I've never had a failure. And again, it's really helpful. So I just wanted to share. And I just, again, want to thank you for making such a fabulous product that has really helped a lot of people.